Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take one last question and then I'm going to stop. Final question. Going once. Going twice. Got a question?
I don't believe.
Okay. Is that a question or a comment?
No, I'm just asking, can you show me a proof that Jesus is God?
So the brother asks me to share a proof that Jesus is God. Very well, I will. Okay, bro, here you go. Here's the proof. A clear proof that Jesus is God from Revelations 22, verse 12. Behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me, to render to every man according to what he has done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. According to Islam, who is the first and the last? What? God. Jesus calls himself the first and the last. So who is Jesus calling himself?
He's calling himself God, but using that context, using the Quran to...
Do you want to come round and talk? Looks like he wants to talk.
Can you ask him where is Allah come from? The name of Allah.
Feel free to come in, guys. We're going to have a debate.
Well, he's young. Take it easy.
You can come in front of the bike if you want.
He's coming.
Is he coming? So what's your name?
Adam.
How you doing, Adam?
I'm good.
So what was your point? What was your response?
So the response is, if you're going to use the Quran to find the terms of the Bible,
Yep.
it's like it says that Satan is all cursed, yeah?
Yep.
In Galatians, it says Satan redeemed us from the curse. And because he redeemed us from the curse, he became a curse. Yeah, like all cursed. So if Satan is all cursed, and Jesus became all cursed as well, it doesn't mean that they're the same people.
Okay, can I reply? Right, so your argument is fallacious because you think that I've used the Quran to prove that Jesus called himself God, right? That's not true. Jesus calls himself God in Revelations 22, where he says, I am the first and I am the last. That is not a Quranic idea. Let me finish, Adam. In Isaiah 48, God speaking says, listen to me, O Jacob, even Israel, I am he, I am the first, I am also the last. So it is an Old Testament title of God, that God is the first and God is the last, and Jesus is taking that Old Testament title and applying it to himself. What we have in the Quran is that the authors of the Quran are stealing the divine titles of Jesus that are rooted in the Old Testament and applying them to Allah. Now, sorry?
The Quran isn't created and doesn't have any author.
It does have an author.
It wasn't created, never created.
The Quran is created.
It's not.
It's not from God.
It's revealed from God, but not created by God. It was revealed.
Well, I don't believe that it's created.
Yeah, well, it's not created.
Sorry, let me rephrase. I don't believe that it's from God, so for me, it's created.
Okay, but
And there's evidence that it's created. Would you like to hear the evidence that it's created?
let me just ask.
Well, you made a claim.
Yeah,
The Arabic language, how old is it?
Arabic language is very, very old. Like at the time of Shem.
The Arabic language is less than 2,000 years old.
No, it's older than that.
We can see the historical development of the Arabic language. It evolves linguistically. And here's a proof that the Arabic language evolves linguistically, because the Quran, Muslims laud the Quran as having influenced the grammatical norms of the Arabic language, which means that the Arabic language evolved because of the Quran.
Yes, but it was
Thank you,
before.
yes.
It's old. It's old. There's different types of Arabic, and the classical Arabic has never understood the same as since then. But
Where's your evidence that ancient man spoke Arabic?
the ancient man spoke Arabic. Have you heard of the Moabites? From the time
I'm
of-
asking your evidence, yes.
Yeah, yes. My phone's
Go on,
dead.
where's your evidence that ancient man spoke Arabic?
My phone's dead, but the ancient man at the time, it was created by Shem. I don't have.
That's a claim. Where's your evidence that ancient man spoke Arabic? All you're doing is you're using one claim to back up another claim. I'm not asking you to give me a different claim. I'm asking you to give me evidence that ancient man spoke Arabic. Because if you can't, what we do see in the development of the Kufic script into what we call classical Arabic is a development of a language that is not recorded before we see evidence of it. And it emerges out of the Syriac language. For instance, I think the word Tor, there's a surah in the Quran called mountain, isn't it? Correct? And it's called Tor, is that correct? Tor. T-O-R. Yeah, there is. Do you know? Tor. Surah al-Tor. And that means mountain, doesn't it? Right, now tell me what the Arabic word for mountain is.
I cannot actually tell you, but I know.
Right, let me tell you something that you might not know. The word Tor is actually a Syriac word for mountain. The Arabic language emerged out of Syriac. It is not an ancient language, and therefore the Quran is created. It is not eternal, because the Arabic language is not eternal.
But do you know there's different types of Arabic languages?
And which Arabic language is the Quran written in?
It was written in the Hijazi Arabic dialect.
Right, which emerged when?
When the Prophet Muhammad was in the Prophet Muhammad was in Mecca, he received the revelation.
No, Kufic script exists before that.
Yes.
There are Kufic Arabic script before Muhammad, but it doesn't go right back into history. In other words, the Kufic Arabic script is a development of who? The Nabateans. And they used a Syriac language.
We learn English as well, you know.
Right, verily we have sent it down as an Arabic Quran in order that you may understand.
Yes.
Now that means that demonstrates that Arabic was not the original language of humanity. Because for it to be sent down in that Arabic means that Allah is making a choice about a language that is developed. And as it has developed, we can see where it developed from, and that's Syriac. So what's your proof that ancient man spoke Arabic?
Because in the old times, there were different types of Arabics. There were different Arab groups, like the Moabites, and there were groups inside different spaces in Arabia where they spoke different types of Arabic. And it's still Arabic, but just some words are different, some words are the same. You understand?
Do you understand the difference between a claim and an evidence?
I don't have any evidence.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have any evidence, because all you're doing is repeating claims that you've heard in the masjid. Adam, you need to start thinking. You need to start thinking deeper, because the masjid is filling your head with lies, bro. Arabic is not an ancient language. It is a development of the language of the Nabateans. based from Petra. And we can see that because the Syriac script, which is an Aramaic script, which is the language of Jesus. You know Jesus spoke Aramaic, right?
Yeah, he did.
Right. So Aramaic is a Syriac language, and it develops into what we know as Hebrew today, and Arabic. In other words, Arabic is not an ancient language, it evolved. And if the Arabic language evolves, that means that the Quran is not eternal.
Canaanites were also Arabs, so therefore they would speak the
Sorry?
language. The Canaanites.
The Canaanites were Arabs. No, they were not.
They were.
That's another claim. Where's your evidence?
If you research it, it was.
Where's your evidence?
They were a Semitic group, they were Arabs.
Your problem,
Before the Israelites, they were Arabs.
you're not even Arab. Where are you from?
From Morocco and Iran.
North what?
Morocco.
Morocco. You're probably a Berber. You've been Arabized, bro, through Arab imperialism that came in the 7th century, and you've been brainwashed into thinking that Arab culture is superior to the Berber culture. It's not. Let me be clear. Let me be very clear. Not everyone who's Semitic is Arab. That is some kind of bullshit ideology that comes from Arab imperialism.
They came from
The
there.
Semitic groups, Semitic languages predate the idea of the Arab. The Semitic language and Semitic culture is just a reference to the Orient and to certain languages that have certain kinds of script and linguistic families. It doesn't mean blood. So you are inventing this idea that Canaanites were Arabs. That's not true, because you believe, don't you? You believe that the Arabs are the descendants of Ishmael, correct?
The Arabs are the descendants of Ishmael.
Correct?
Yeah.
Right. Well, if Arabs, as you believe and I believe, are the descendants of Ishmael, well, that's a separate bloodline from Canaanites. Canaanites weren't descendants of Abraham. Are you trying to argue that Canaanites were descendants of Abraham?
There were different types of Arab groups, like I said.
You've not answered my question. Are you arguing that Canaanites are descendants from Ishmael?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Can you evidence that?
Yes.
Go on,
the
then.
evidence is that Ishmael in the Bible, when he left Sinai, he went to Mount Paran. Mount Paran is pretty much in the Canaanite kingdom.
That doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove a damn thing. All you're doing is making one claim after another claim. You've got to learn the difference between claims and evidence.
The Moabites, which are a Semitic group, have the same.
How about this? There's no such things of Arabs. There's no such things as Arabs. Arabs are just a category of Moabite.
Moabites.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Right, why?
Because Moabites are a group of Arabs.
You've got to evidence that. You can't claim it.
Yes,
Evidence
at the
it.
same time, there were different types.
Maybe someone can help you.
I don't have any evidence.
Exactly, you don't have any evidence. You're just making up claims.
I don't have my friend died.
That's not my problem, bro. If you're going to make a claim, you've got to evidence. So let's return to a topic that you can handle, Adam. Okay? Because no offense, bro, you don't understand the difference between a claim and an evidence. All you're doing is, I've made one claim, and then to prove my claim, I'm going to make another claim, and then to prove that claim, I'm going to make another claim. That proves nothing. Okay? Now, the reality is, in terms of the Arabic language, we can see its development. Here's the evidence, right? Note the difference. Would you agree with me that the classical Arabic that we find in the Quran today is not the same or identical to the Kufic Arabic in which it was first written at the time of Muhammad? Yes. So is that not proof, therefore, that the Arabic language evolved?
No.
Oh, it isn't. So if it didn't evolve...
Some groups have different types of Arabic, and some other groups have the same Arabic.
So is the classical Arabic of your Quran identical to the Kufic Arabic that was seen by Muhammad's own eyes? No. No, it wasn't. Stop lying. Why? Because the marks that are made above and below the consonantal texts that to our untrained eyes look like little dots and dashes, those were invented later. They were put into the Quran later. In other words, the text of the Quran changed, ladies and gentlemen. And furthermore, as all Muslims boast, the Arabic language evolved because of the Quran. The Quran became a standardizing force about Arabic grammar. And Muslims are the ones that make that boast, not me. But that admission demonstrates that the Arabic language was evolving. And if the Arabic language was evolving, it wasn't an eternal language.
Maybe you should explain the word.
They killed many Iranians to learn Arabic, but they couldn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, in Iran, they were just,
Our language. But
yeah.
we tried to get it off.
The Iranians were Arabized just like the Moroccans.
Yeah, and
You got to
we
free
were
yourself from
also
Arabization.
Romanized. We were also done. The Romans,
Decolonize your mind.
The Romans also done the same thing to Morocco. The Phoenicians done the same thing to Morocco. Every single group done it to Morocco. Yeah.
Was it wrong?
Yeah.
Right, so was it wrong when the Arabs did it?
No, because the Arabs had two different types of
Did you hear that?
The Arabs had two different
It wasn't wrong when the Arabs did it. It was was it bad when the French did it?
Yes.
Was it good when the Arabs did it?
No.
So it was bad when the Arabs did it.
Did the Arabs kill anyone?
Yes, loads of people.
That's because there was wars, civil wars going on.
So
there.
does that justify the Arabization of Morocco?
If they're fighting the Arabs, then yeah.
There you go. In other words, if you're fighting the Arabs, it's okay for the Arabs to colonize you. That's what a colonized mind looks like. That's what Arabization looks like. Muslims in this park say I'm lying, that Arabization doesn't exist. This is what an Arabized mind looks like. If you're fighting the Arabs, it's okay for the Arabs to colonize
The
you.
Berbers were fighting each other, and then what happened is the Arabs were trying to have stopped it by taking the land. They didn't do anything wrong.
You are a colonized mind. Let's actually tell you what really happened. The Arabs invaded lands that were not their own, and they persecuted the Berbers, whose land it was, until they stopped being Christian.
No,
That's
not.
actually what
The
happened.
Berbers were never Christian.
Yes, they
They
were.
were forced to be Christian, but most of them never even accepted Christianity. They were mostly pagan.
Wrong.
Yes,
That's
it
a
was.
lie. He doesn't even know where his own people come
Berber
from.
mythology, yeah.
The Berbers were a tribe that migrated after their invasion of the Roman Empire. They came across the Ural Mountains. They came across Germany. They were Aryanized by the Aryans. They invaded France. They went down through Spain, and then they crossed over the Mediterranean, and they finally settled in the Kabul Mountains and in what is now called Morocco and Tunisia and Algeria. And then the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, converted huge swathes of them
Killing them.
to the Christian faith,
By murdering
though
them.
many of them remained Aryans. Now, then the Muslims come in the 7th century and destroy the church in North Africa by invading the Berbers. Now, was it violent? Was it wrong when the Christians persecuted the Berbers?
Yes, it was.
Was it wrong when the Muslims persecuted the Berbers?
Yes.
There we go. That's the process of decolonization.
Arabs, Muslims and Arabs.
Right.
They can't.
Any persecution is wrong. What's the
Great. Now we've established that any persecution is wrong. Does that mean we should condemn a holy book if it legitimizes religious persecution?
Yes.
Great. So you'll join me. Brilliant. So you'll join me in condemning the Quran, which legitimizes religious persecution, and condemning the Hadiths, which legitimizes religious persecution. Agreed?
Send me a verse of the
Yes.
Quran.
There's a verse in the Quran that says religious persecution.
Great.
You get it?
Great. Yes. Let's look at it. So what's your name, bro?
You see.
Yassine, welcome to the conversation. Right. You've asked me to show you a verse that justifies religious persecution.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the hadiths, my argument is going to be that in the hadiths and the Quran, it justifies. Are you a Quranist?
Familiar with the hadith?
Are you a Quranist?
Quranist means like follow the Quran. Yeah.
That you reject hadith?
I don't reject it.
Do you accept Sahih al-Bukhari?
Yes.
Do you accept Sahih al-Muslim?
Yes.
Great. Then those are the hadiths that we'll use. However, ladies and gentlemen, Yasin said he'll condemn a holy book if it justifies religious persecution. So, here it is. In Surah 9, 39, 29, it says this. Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and his messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth from amongst the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued. Subdued.
So which verse?
That's Surah 9, 29. Firstly, my question to you, Yazin, is what are you commanded to do to the people of the book? It's a really simple question, guys.
2 minutes.
Okay, whilst they're having a confab, you have your confab, the verse says, fight against the people of the book until they believe what you believe. That's the first aspect of religious persecution. The second aspect is fight them until they pay the jizya and feel themselves subdued.